But we're all about standards and values here at Smacking Off.
I'm the great smack talker on the fucking face of the earth right now.
You're just jealous of my shine.
Dane's in there tripping on acid, man. This is going to be a great episode.
I try to do my part, guys.
SEC player of the year, bro. Come on, that's like being the smartest kid in your special ed class. Bro, ain't nobody take that seriously.
Are you pooping?
I believe that's what they call
You're
it.
pooping. I don't hear pee sounds. Dude, you're making...
Those Iowa beats your goddamn brains out.
No, USC is far better than Oklahoma historically.
Don't be ridiculous right now.
You fucking talking.
What the fuck are you saying about the SEC draft?
Dude, whatever you're smoking, buy a ton of it.
Meatloaf is moist as my pussy gets. I probably should have.
Jesus Christ, that hurt. I'm still going to have it.
Smacking off the podcast.
Bro, I'm gonna be a SoundCloud rapper, bro.
That is the best thing you've ever said on this show. And welcome back to Smacking Off, the podcast. I'm your host, Shannon Madden. I'm joined with Doug Phillips, and we're joined with our very, very special friend, Mr. Clemson, Dane Kelley.
Put crowd noise in there?
Yeah, insert crowd noise.
I don't know
here.
if I like that. Very
What?
special friend.
What? There was nothing gay about what I said there, and I don't know why you keep bringing it up. What's up, Dane? What are you doing, man?
Yeah, not shit, man. What you guys doing?
Oh, we're fucking smacking off, as usual.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, we're going to talk about some games coming up
Let's
tomorrow
do it,
evening.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about number 6, Michigan, versus number 24. They're number 24 in the nation. Shut the fuck
Absolutely.
up. Really.
The Penn State win got them.
Shut up.
Yeah, propelled them up.
Michigan State. And that's at Michigan State. I don't know, man. They're number 2 in total defense right now. Only giving up 238 yards a game.
Michigan?
Yes. Michigan has consistently fielded some really good defenses under Harbaugh. That's why it's kind of amazing, and also it's another telling point to the fact that, well, like we had discussed with the ladies the other night about defense winning games. I mean, defense in 2018, you can't just have a solid defense, and even our team is experiencing that right now. Alabama, which has consistently fielded just a tremendous, just balls out defense is. I don't know. Suddenly, the defense is definitely not the big story down there right now, and it's like that in programs all across the country.
Where's Clemson ranking defense, Dane?
I think we're in the top 10 in most categories.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
I'm not sure. I couldn't tell you. I don't really keep up with it that well.
Well, maybe you should.
I used to. I just have. That cuts into my drinking time nowadays.
I understand that. That and getting all the tail, getting all the ladies.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
Because you're not gay. We've already gone through that so far.
Definitely not.
So
all right. Well, how do you feel about this one?
I think Michigan's probably going to whip their ass.
Michigan State does not have a good run offense. Let me just go ahead and say that straight out. They are 114th in rushing offense, and that puts a hell of a lot of pressure on their quarterback, Brian. I hope I pronounced this right.
Lewerk.
Yeah, Lewerk.
Yeah, I think Brian Lewerk. Yeah.
He looked pretty good last week.
Yeah, he's thrown for almost 1,600 yards this season. Of course, he's also thrown 7 interceptions.
7 interceptions, right, and 8 touchdowns. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's pretty underwhelming.
It is, and that's
yards don't win games.
This is true. This is very true. Michigan State has definitely had kind of a. They're still at this point in the season still hard to read.
But I will tell you this: that will get you beat if you can't run. And that's probably why he's got 7 interceptions, because there's a lot of pressure on a quarterback when you can barely run, because the quarterback has to try to take up the slack. And if you're trying to force stuff, then you end up with 7 interceptions after how many games have they played? 6? Yep, 6 games. But anyway, yeah, I think Michigan handles them even at Michigan State. I don't see it going down to the wire. I really don't. I think.
I don't either, but these guys have like a history of really close games.
Right, and odd finishes. I mean, I know y'all both remember Michigan. All they had to do was punt, wasn't it? Was that Michigan need to punt, and then they get their punt block. They got their punt block.
Yeah.
I don't even think they had to punt.
They really didn't. They could have just like took the snap,
the ball down the field.
Something. Yeah.
I really don't like to talk about scenarios like this, and you know why.
Kick six.
Kicking and yeah, I don't really want to revisit that period of my life.
I wasn't going to bring it up, but I'm glad you did.
I'm glad you didn't bring it up anymore. So that's great that you're shutting up about it right now. All right. Well, how do you feel about this game though? Overall, I know it's just I don't know. I've still got a sneaking suspicion that
it's hilarious that Michigan State's even ranked. I mean, I understand they beat Penn State, but I mean, haven't been impressed with Penn State either. So
yeah, they're pretty vanilla this year.
They lost to Herman Edwards down at Arizona State. Who else did they lose? They almost lost to Utah State.
Mm-hmm.
Who else have Michigan State lost to? I did not do my homework on this. Fuck it. They've lost some games. We know they have.
They have, and they're still ranked number 24 in the nation because they won that one game.
That one game.
Yeah.
It helped. It helped.
Give me Michigan by 2 touchdowns.
All right. We're going to skip over this next game I've got listed right now and come back to it. Oklahoma at TCU. Tyler Murray, he is the second. He's the second highest rated quarterback in the country right now.
TCU plays real defense, though.
They do.
They're 20th in pass defense so far this year. 182 yards per game.
Oklahoma they continuously struggle against good defenses, so I don't know. I'm probably leaning towards the Horned Frogs in this game.
The Horned Frogs to win straight up?
What's the point spread?
Let me find out real quick. I've got it.
Yeah, it's like
Oklahoma's favored by 8. And it's at TCU, so.
Yeah, I'll take TCU to win straight up.
Wow.
What's the score on that one? Is it a tight game? Is it a defensive game?
Defensive. Oklahoma's defense is pretty well improved this year, so
they're a lot better than last year.
Defensive struggle.
And they'll have a new guy. They'll have a new guy on the sideline. Mike Stoops has been fired. I know you've heard about that. Yeah, Mike Stoops.
I didn't hear about that.
Oh, really?
You didn't know that Mike Stoops got fired? You're serious.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
I've been under a rock. Who's the new guy?
I have no idea. Some guy they got.
They hired some new guy.
I think they went to like the nearest high school and just asked some guy to, hey, can you?
I can't remember. It seems like he had affiliations with Notre Dame. I don't know. I'd have to.
Wow. New defensive coordinator, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Why the fuck did they fire Stoops?
Because they gave up 38 points. Was it 38 or 48?
I think it was 38. No, 48.
Yeah,
48 to Texas. Yeah. 48, 45. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to think about that one for a minute.
Yeah.
Texas is a top 10 team.
Yeah, but they really didn't become a top 10 team until they hung 48 on Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's not real. That's not a real thing.
I don't know. It might be a real thing. I'm not sure that it's not, but
it's a real thing.
All right. So, so he thinks TCU is going to win. I'm going to go with Oklahoma close and Shannon.
Yeah, I'm still digging Kyler Murray. I still think he's going to find a way to dig him out of this one. That the Red River rivalry was a bit of an exception, and that game, it was a 3-point loss, very heated rivalry that now Texas has finally been able to scrape together the talent to be able to actually give Oklahoma a serious challenge for once.
Let me just say this: TCU is 20th in pass defense, like we said.
Can I just point out that Oklahoma struggled against Army earlier in the season?
Yeah, I knew that.
They did. TCU will not be running the triple
option.
option.
Let's just look at this let's look at this for a second. TCU against a an elite quarterback or somebody that's considered an elite quarterback. Haskins at Ohio State.
Yeah.
Haskins threw for 344 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. So,
yeah, that would probably be a game film that Oklahoma is going to revisit quite a bit.
How did the Bucknuts fare on the running attack against TCU?
You know, I didn't write that down. It just didn't seem interesting.
Yeah, I want to say that there was a lot there. Well, there was a lot, if I remember correctly, because I did watch that game. That there was. I want to say Ohio.
I think
State
they broke off a couple of big ones. But
yeah, I want to say they racked up over 500 all-purpose yards in that one.
You talking about Ohio State?
Yes, yeah, Ohio State.
Absolutely,
yes,
they had 344 in there.
Yeah. So that could spell some trouble for
okay, I'm switching my pick.
There you go. That's smart guy.
Oklahoma.
Yeah, it's probably going to be the smart money for this one. I think.
Straight up.
Timothy, we did this for you. We convinced Dane to switch his pick to your Sooners.
Excellent.
Oh no, fuck that guy. I'm sticking with my original pick, TCU.
Okay, we have you down for Oklahoma. Next, we have Mississippi State at LSU. We talked to the ladies about this one earlier this week. They were looking straight past this game and looking straight over to the Alabama matchup. And I feel a lot of the LSU nation is. However, I can tell you that the LSU Tigers definitely don't need to overlook this game, as Mississippi State is coming to this game ranked number 22 in the nation.
And Mississippi State will be the best defense that LSU has faced.
The top scoring defense in the nation, giving up only less than 13 points per game.
LSU's coming off of a pretty big win, are they not?
They are. And
they really are. And that was a huge win.
I can't remember who they played.
Georgia.
Yes,
I heard something about it.
Broke-ass dogs.
I will say this. Coming off of a big win like this, LSU will be more vulnerable than they typically are.
Yeah. Play flat.
Yep.
You think it's primed for a letdown? Is that what
absolutely? When you come off a big win like that, especially when you haven't been winning games like that a lot in the last few years, the players don't know how to deal with it. And I don't know. I mean, even the elite teams, Bama and Clemson, and the teams that frequent the CFP, still have a letdown after a big win.
Here's another fun stat.
Beautiful.
You know, LSU is scoring 32 points per game, and Mississippi State is scoring 31 points per game. So that's it. I mean, you're just about damn near dead even. Florida sacked Burrow 5 times. He had 2 interceptions and no touchdowns.
Yep.
So that run for one at least, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, point being is if you can get pressure on Burrow, he's not going to beat you in there.
Yeah, true.
So here's a key stat, in my opinion. This really stuck out to me. Mississippi State has sacked 17. They've got 17 sacks this year, and LSU has given up 16 sacks, which is pretty high. It's not the highest.
Hefty number,
right? That's at least middle.
Florida. I just pointed out Florida accounted for 5 of those sacks in one game.
Yeah, it's true. But if State gets to Burrow, you may see a different Burrow than you've seen against Georgia.
Sure. Where is the game being played, gentlemen?
Honolulu.
At LSU.
Honolulu.
At LSU under the lights. That is an evening game. It starts in the early evening. The lights will be on when that one's finished.
Yep.
Give me LSU in a squeaker. They'll find a way.
I agree. That's what I'm seeing.
High scoring game, low scoring game. LSU able to move the ball much.
I'd say neither team breaks 21.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the winner breaks 21.
The first team to pass 21 wins.
There you go.
Okay. Right. I can dig that.
Our audio-only podcast is hosted at podcastgarden.com/podcast/smackingoff. Or find us on Google Play Music. Or on iTunes.
Gee, I was brilliant today.
Right.
How about a beer and a few pointers on your game, huh?
How about just a beer?
There's a
tennis pro. People pay me a lot of money for pointers on their game. But I'll tell you what you want to know. Free.
Really? Who's your cute friend?
Don't just reach for a beer. Head for the mountains.
Oregon at Washington State.
Washington
And again,
State,
both
baby.
teams.
I got to go with the Pirate.
Really? Well, this will be a home win for them. With a really hot Oregon team
and a very hot quarterback.
Mm.
Justin Herbert is, man, he's unbelievable.
I've heard that name quite a few times.
Yes, he's.
I think they're talking about Heisman hopes or something.
Yeah,
he's thrown for 17 touchdowns so far.
He's 7th nationally in passing efficiency. That's one of the most important stats that I look at is pass efficiency, because that's, your completion percentage, how many touchdowns you're throwing compared to interceptions, and those are really important numbers. But Washington State at home, and Washington State is playing pretty good. So
I like Mike Leach.
Washington State is favored by 1, I believe, at home. So
damn near pick 'em game.
Go with the team that's favored to win at home. Wazoo,
so you're going with Wazoo. I'm going to go with Oregon, and I think Oregon by a touchdown. What do you think, Shannon?
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking the same way. Oregon is really playing some damn good ball right now, not taking anything away from Washington State, but I still don't feel like, even this late in the season, that we know where Washington State is going to wind up.
I know one thing.
There's a very important pack matchup
The
here.
forecast changes dramatically if Washington State wins this game.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to really be looking at them then.
Yeah, true.
And that's what Dane says is going to happen. I heard there's a big game in the ACC this week, but I can't remember which game it is, and I forgot to put it on the list. So.
Syracuse, I think. And who's Syracuse playing?
Somebody.
Is it Pitt?
I think it's Pitt, yeah.
Yeah, Pitt gave Notre Dame some trouble last week.
They sure did.
They really upset some folks, so that I'm sure we're hoping that Pitt would win, particularly folks in the Power 5 conferences, because Notre Dame's still hanging around for a possible playoff appearance.
I think it's the Wolfpack of NC State heading to your Clemson Tigers. And this game has 2 undefeated teams in it, and it's the only game.
They're undefeated. Somebody told me they're undefeated.
Yeah, they're all undefeated.
Yes.
They will be undefeated no more come tomorrow.
All right. I just want to point out Trevor Lawrence, who has not played all year. He come in the Texas A&M game, and he's started ever since.
Something like that.
Okay. I
think the other guy played one more game and then quit.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Well, anyway, he's number 5 in pass efficiency. He's got 11 touchdowns to 2 interceptions, which is a pretty good
good control,
pretty good stat. But Ryan Finley at NC State is playing pretty damn good too. He's got 10 touchdowns to his 3 interceptions, and is ranked 24th in pass efficiency, which is not terrible.
Not bad.
His efficiency's not bad. I don't know. I don't think NC State's for real.
Well, they may be for real, but they're going to get skull fucked in Death Valley.
Well, and to point out, too, the Wolfpack are 95th in rushing offense. They got 145 yards per game.
We're going to shit on them.
That's rough,
folks.
yeah.
And Clemson is 4th in rushing offense.
Yeah, that's a huge.
Clemson can
gap
put it on cruise control in this game.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. Write it down, folks. Bet the bank on it.
Clemson, I'm going to say Clemson wins this game 41-27. to 21.
I need one of those, like the horns, that they do like on the sports shows when somebody picks us like an upset special or take it to the bank or something. Yeah,
Are you about to pick an upset special?
Yeah, well, I was going to try to get a sound effect for it, but YouTube's been acting wonky.
I can edit it in. You just tell me where it needs to go, man. I'll put it in.
Let's see. Would this be? Let's see if this one's it right here. Let's see. Oh shit! The fucking ads. I feel like Cowboy.
I'll
edit
edit
it
it in.
Minute. Yeah, like this right here. Hang on. Oh, we got an upset special, baby. I really need to do this more often.
You do?
Yeah. Particularly when Andrea's on.
Yeah. No, you need you need a megaphone.
No, I don't need a megaphone. We tried that before, remember?
Did you have a megaphone once?
Yeah, didn't I have a megaphone at one point in time when I was in the band?
It don't sound like a good idea. That's not.
It wasn't a good idea back then either.
All right, so what's going to happen?
I did a lot of drinking.
You did. I remember that about you.
I was a drunk. A lush.
How about that wolf pack?
Dane, we're talking to you. You're pooping, aren't you?
No, I'm talking to you.
No, you're talking to me. Oh, you're talking to me?
Pooped out.
I think that this is probably going to be an upset special, baby. NC State is going to squeak by this one. I'm sorry. I have a really strange feeling about it. 24-20 Wolfpack.
Okay, Dane, did you pick on this one yet?
Dane thinks I'm crazy.
I said that NC State was going to get skull fucked.
Right.
And I'm going to go Clemson 45. NC State 3.
Damn.
I'm very confident on this one, guys.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Well, there you have it. That's the games that we're going to preview.
Are
this
we
week.
picking the UAB game this week?
Go ahead, throw it in real quick.
UAB's going. Actually, they're playing North Texas this week. Is that this week or next week? I want to say the North Texas game is this week, and that is actually if UAB wins that game, and that's actually here in town. We need to go to that one.
UAB wins, possibly wins their division, and
they will actually. That solidifies bowl eligibility, which I think they're already because they've only played 6 games. Remember, they had one of them get canceled out because of the hurricanes.
Yeah.
So that basically makes them bowl eligible if they beat North Texas, which I don't think they're going to be a favorite in that game. I really don't.
I didn't look at that.
Yeah.
Isn't North Texas pretty stout this year?
Yes,
they
are.
They were when they went to Arkansas.
Exactly. They put a fucking ass whipping on.
Right. It was like
that'll be a good game, guys. I would go to that if you have the opportunity.
Yeah, that's definitely that's North Texas this weekend. But no, I take that back. That is at North Texas.
Okay. Well, we can drive over. Where's that? Dallas?
Yeah, it's it's somewhere in North Texas.
Okay,
somewhere.
we'll drive over.
Yeah,
it's only like 8 hour drive or something. You got it, man.
Can we get the smacking off copter for that one?
No, that's
it's being worked on.
Yeah, we're still putting it together.
Okay,
actually. Yeah, it came in a big giant box. I don't think both of us can fit in there either. Now that I'm looking at it, I think the picture on the internet was way different than what came in the box. Now it's like when the box came off the UPS truck.
I'm not sure either of us can fit in it.
Yeah, you have to be kind of a smaller person,
and you have to control it from a controller. And it goes when it flies.
Oh my god!
I was wondering what that word drone was on there for. It had the word drone all over the box. It's a fucking drone.
It is.
God damn it!
All right, guys.
I paid $700 for that shit too. It better be a good drone. I think it's got a camera on it.
I'm picking.
I can spy on my neighbor.
I'm picking UAB to. I don't know what the line is, but I'm picking UAB to upset. What are they? The mean green meanies or something?
What is North Texas?
The mean green.
They're
right?
the mean green.
Hang on. So you're picking UAB?
Yes.
This one? Okay. Hang on. Upset special, ladies and gentlemen. Bet on this like you'd bet on your mama's wait a minute, your grandma's cookies?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was going to say something.
Shit.
All right, we got to take a commercial break.
All right, let's take a commercial break.
Dane, it's been fun.
Pudding.
Always.
All right, guy.
You are listening to Smacking Off the podcast. Like and comment on our damn videos. subscribe to our fucking channel. I really hate you dumb fuckers need to be told that. You should have already subscribed. Jesus fucking Christ.
This segment is brought to you by College Football Frenzy. For compelling football discussion, find us on Facebook today.
Non più tra i farfalloni amoroso, notte e giorno di torno girano, delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisettuatogino d'amor, delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisettuatogino d'amor.
Welcome college football fans to another weekly installment of Congratulations, you lost, and your team sucks donkey balls with Timothy Ray Bailey. This week we examine James Franklin, Mark Richt, and Dana Holgersen, and the two mystery bonus coaches at the end of the segment.
Coach Mark Richt, man, what else can you say about the guy other than the fact that through 28 games he had a better record than Kirby Smart has at Georgia so far?
Right.
Well, you've had an opportunity over the last couple of years. And while he's in year 3 and it's been a heck of a rebuild and turnaround from what Miami was before, you had an opportunity to beat Virginia, have a really weak Coastal ACC, and potentially play yourself into the playoffs if you can, line the cards up right and get a win over Clemson in the ACC championship game, because a loss only to a very good LSU team does not prohibit you from getting into the college football playoffs.
Right.
And before he even crossed the bridge to getting that opportunity, he played with his food last week against Florida State. What's going on, man? He's a quarterback whisperer. He has N'Kosi Perry playing so bad they had to put Malik Rozier back in, which, it's well documented how pundits feel about Malik Rozier. So I'm just going to put it this way. Miami suddenly who was very much overachieving, is very much underachieving now. Losing to Virginia shouldn't happen at Miami when you have the players that they do in place now.
I agree.
And you have a top 3 defense in college football.
I had a weird feeling about the game last week. I put some stuff up about it on Family Smack, and people run in and was like, oh, no, Miami wins this game. And I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely not picking Miami to lose the game, but I'm telling you that something's not right with this team.
I had a feeling it was going to be a close one, and that's just because that's how ACC Coastal games are.
Yep.
But Miami still has to find a way to win that game. Their defense held Virginia to 16 points, and they still lost.
Yep.
Can't happen.
Totally.
You can't lose when you're a quarterback. When you're a quarterback whisperer, you can't lose when your opponent's 16 points. Acceptable.
Right.
Not acceptable for Coach Mark Richt at all.
Yep.
However, I still think Richt has done a good job at Miami, so I'm not as gung ho against him as I am against Gus Malzahn. So
right.
But the people in Miami are excited about football for the first time in a while, and if you disappoint them too quickly, they won't appreciate that very much.
I agree. How about the Mountaineers?
The Mountaineers, Dana Holgerson.
Yep.
I felt Dana Holgerson and Jake Spavital were completely unprepared to go into Ames. Everyone told them that this was going to be a tough game, and everyone knew it, I guess, except for the West Virginia coaching staff. Before I get into this, I'm taking no credit away from Matt Campbell, because what he and his staff have done at Iowa State is impressive, and they've got very good players out there, surprisingly very good players that are very young. So this is probably not going to be the only year that Iowa State's going to end up ranked, because they will eventually be ranked this year.
I know
this will not be the only time.
No, I know a couple guys, you included, and a guy named Gabriel Griffin, and myself. We all picked Iowa State to win this game, and people acted like I was crazy when I told them that.
Yeah, now, don't get me wrong. I did not expect West Virginia to be held to 151 yards of offense.
No.
And speaking of that, that's what I'm most disappointed in. If West Virginia went into Iowa State and Iowa State beat them, like, let's say, 41-34, or even 24-21, or something low scoring, I could have accepted that. But when half your points come from a field goal block touchdown, and you have a guy who's supposed to be the best quarterback in all of college football and the best receiving core in all of college football, and you're considered one of the elite offensive minds in all of college football, you're expected to do more than put up 151 points against teams with 3-star athletes.
151 yards, you mean?
Total yards.
Right. Yeah, that was unbelievable.
A crazy stat from the game. Will Grier had 14 passing attempts. He was sacked 7 times. He was sacked half as many times as he threw passes.
How much damage do you think that did to Greer's Heisman campaign?
It's over now. There's no chance. But the reason why Dana Holgorsen got brought up is because of how they went in and played. Not because they lost, because how lethargic they were. They had no answer. They had no answer at all. They never made any adjustments that mattered. And they deserve a lot of hate for that this week. So for the second year in a row, James Franklin, who's had trouble beating ranked opponents, after losing a game to Ohio State in which they led for most of the game, they managed to find a way to lose by 1 point. And for the second year in a row, they followed it up with a loss to Michigan State.
Right.
Now, Michigan State's not a bad team. That's not why they're on this. Franklin is on this because of his back-to-back performances in like situations. It shows me that he's not deserving of the credit that he's been given as an elite coach. He may be a great recruiter.
Right.
But ultimately, that's not going to get you wins in the Big Ten. And the Big Ten, you can argue the Big Ten East is the best conference in all of college football. And you can't follow up. You can't follow up a poor performance with a bye week and a loss.
Yeah,
you can't do that. Good coaches do not take bye weeks and lose a second game in a row. It doesn't happen.
I'm going to go out on a limb here, not too far out on a limb, and I'm going to say that Kyle Golick would agree with you. He's our Penn State guy, and he's really down on Franklin right now, and he's been down since the Ohio State loss, really. But I mean, this just really adds insult to injury.
And again, I don't think Franklin's a bad coach, and I don't think that the opponent they lost to is that bad. And I do think they may win out and maybe get a similar Fiesta Bowl victory like they did last season. Mm-hmm. It's very possible. But it would be a Rose Bowl win, most likely, assuming that the winner of the Big Ten goes to the college football playoff.
Right.
Well, assuming Ohio State does, because if Michigan wins, then Ohio State's going to the Rose Bowl. But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And he'll have an opportunity again to have another great season. But he'll turn into the Coach Mark Richt of the Big Ten if he doesn't find a way to beat Ohio State when he has double-digit leads against them.
Yep, I totally agree. Since the upset win 3 seasons ago, it's really just been it's been the same thing 2 years in a row. He's proved
it's how they're losing the game.
Yeah, they're proving
how they're following.
Right, they're proving in the game that they belong in the game, and they're just finding a way to lose.
And then on top of that, they follow it up with an encore loss to Michigan State, a team that's not as good as they are. Talent-wise, they don't have a better quarterback than them. They don't have a better anything.
Right.
Michigan State doesn't have a better anything except maybe coach, because maybe D'Antonio is better than James Franklin. It's starting to look that way, doesn't it? To look like that to you potentially.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But if you let a team hang around long enough, it gets to a point where if they need one drive and a field goal, it doesn't matter at that point if you're better than they are. You've got more talent, and all they got to do is drive down and get a field goal to win. It happens, and you just can't let a team like that hang around and have that shot.
Right. And they let Michigan State hang around, and I'll give it to Grant, and I'll give them this. Michigan State pulled out all the stops. They pulled stuff out of the bag of the trips. They tried a fake field goal that didn't work. They successfully got a fake punt off. They did a running back pass. They did a double reverse pass. Mm-hmm. Michigan State came to win, and Penn State didn't. Penn State shouldn't only score 17 points against Michigan State. Their defense isn't that good. Their defense is good, but you're telling me that Penn State's offense isn't as good as Utah State?
You think it's easy being a carpet?
Don Rickles has new Anso 5 worry-free carpet.
Nice doggy. Can you believe this? Here comes the kid. Shoot, I knew it had to be chocolate. What's the matter, lady? Another bad year for Bordeaux?
Don't worry. With a little cleaning, that feels good.
I'll still be gorgeous.
Revolutionary Anso 5 worry-free. The carpet that can really take it.
Okay, you hockey pucks. I'm ready for anything.
Are you irritated with something we said on the podcast? Well then fuck you. Call the Smack line and tell us all about it at 304-508-BAIT. Don't be a pussy fuck boy. Call the Smack line today. Messages left on our Smack line will be used at the end of Smacking Off the podcast episodes.
Let's start with the $49 million man. That's how much it is, right? How much is $49 million?
$49 million is what he makes if he goes all the way through his contract. I think they can get him out of there for $32 million. I've never heard any of a college buying a coach out for $32 million. Have you?
How much did Notre Dame buy Charlie Weiss out for? Or do we have those numbers since it's a private school?
You know, I don't think we do, but I bet you it wasn't that much.
Yeah, probably not. It was close though, because I think he was making like $5 or $6 million a year.
Right.
But besides that, it doesn't happen. I mean, Texas A&M was facing the possibility of doing that last year if A&M hadn't stepped in with Jimbo because of the way Jimbo was acting. I know there was some talk of FSU just saying screw it and moving on, but I don't think it would have actually happened. So, but anyway, the reason why I decided to add Gus Malzahn back, we just did him last week, and I don't really like to. I'm open to the idea of bringing a coach in a second time if he deserves it, but I really wouldn't want to do it back-to-back weeks. But I have to make a special exception for Gus Malzahn because when you lose at home, and what many people consider the toughest environment to play, and not just the SEC, but all of college football.
Yep.
And you lose to a team like Tennessee, you deserve to get blasted for it, in my opinion. And here it comes. Well, first of all, I've been hearing things, much like you are, that there's discontent between the staff and a certain player, a certain star player that he was gifted from Baylor, right. Mr. Jarrett Stidham. Since you mentioned that comment to me, I've looked into it, and I've heard that Jarrett is more or less unhappy with the way that the offense is running, and the coordinators are unhappy with him for being unhappy about the offense not being very good. And I just got to say this. Whenever you get a guy as good as it's rare to fall upon, and I know I'm an Oklahoma fan, and we've fallen upon two good transfer quarterbacks in a row, two transcendent ones at that. And so I'm not trying to say that you can't go this route and get it done, but when you fall upon a quarterback as good and as talented as Jarrett Stidham, and before anyone goes, oh, he's not that good, he was projected to be a first-round pick coming into this season. And in his limited time at Baylor, he looked very, very good. He looked better than the predecessor to him, who was a Heisman contender for much of the 2015 season, Seth Russell.
Right.
So anyway, you have an offense predicated on running the ball, stretching the field. So Auburn's offense is basically so 2012, how the teenage girls would say it. The offense basically works like this. You put two split wide receivers on each side of the field so you can spread the defense out and basically run the football. You involve the quarterback in a lot of the run game, and you have a bruising back and a speed back, and you just try to mix up the runs so that way you get the most effective result. And then when you throw deep. And so primarily the offense is nothing but go routes and slants. But when you have a quarterback as good as Jarrett Stidham is, you need to be able to involve more of the passing tree to get the most out of the personnel you have. And part of the big thing about being a coach is getting the most out of your personnel, not just getting the most out of your system. And Gus Malzahn is failing to do that. And whether that's more his offensive coordinator's fault is beside the point to me, because he's the head football coach and because he's had so much talent at Auburn for so long now. To not win a national championship and to only win one SEC championship is just unacceptable to me.
Yep.
Because there's teams in the nation that literally cheat to get the talent that he has. Just ask the basketball schools.
Right. And really, they really should have just let Arkansas. Did Arkansas offer him $50 million?
There was a rumor that was the case, and you know what? He would have been a good fit at Arkansas because Arkansas doesn't have the expectations Auburn has.
Right. Yeah, I think in the end he's going to wish he would have went to Arkansas. Well, I don't know.
I think that Auburn's going to wish they let him, and I think Malzahn to an extent will wish he went.
I take that back. I mean, he's fixing he's fixing to get, if they run him out early, and I think they're going to, he's going to get $32 million for not completing his contract. You can't beat that shit with a stick.
That's fair. The other thing that bothers me about it is, maybe it's the AD that deserves more disrespect for this, because half the fan base was like, yeah, rehire him, and half the fan base was not happy with the idea of rehiring him.
If I'm not mistaken.
And here's the skinny of it.
Yeah.
The skinny of it is, Gus Malzahn's contract ran out. They didn't have to renew it. They didn't have to give him a long-term deal. They could have given him a 1-year deal, a 2-year deal.
Absolutely. But I'm hearing that the president has more to do with this than the athletic director. So
the other thing is that they're about to probably lose Kevin Steele in this mix too, which is unfortunate because the Auburn defense has been fantastic for the last 3 years under him.
Right. The defense is now starting to give up, though.
They are starting to give up, but they're going to lose. They're going to lose Kevin Steele in this process, and that's really unfortunate for those players.
Yeah, I totally agree.
So, enough with Malzahn. He's gotten airtime for the last 2 weeks, and he just got probably a half of what everybody, half of the total for the rest. I'm going to dip into Scott Frost because Scott Frost had a 10-point lead against Northwestern at home and an opportunity to get the first win. And this was after Kirk Herbstreit came out and said, I'm calling it now. Nebraska still makes a bowl, even though they started 0-5. And he was making Herbstreit look pretty good for a while, and then all of a sudden his team collapsed and gave up 10 points in less than 3 minutes, and then they lost in overtime.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, but I'm well aware the cupboard is bare at Nebraska. It was as bare can be. And they tried to switch schemes on both the offense and defense last year. And now they're doing it again. So I understand this is a process, and it's not going to be easy. But this is still Nebraska, and it's still a blue blood school. And winning 0 games out of your first 6 is just unacceptable, especially with a loss to Troy on the belt on there. You're starting to think Nebraska could lose every game remaining on their schedule, except for the one FCS opponent they got to reschedule.
Bethune-Cookman.
Bethune-Cookman, yes.
Yep, that's their win, probably. I don't know. Minnesota's coming to town this week, and Vegas has Nebraska at a 3.5-point favorite. So apparently people believe they'll have a shot in this game as well. And I would say if they had a shot against Northwestern, they should have a shot in this game too.
I can agree to that. I definitely think all the games are winnable, but I'm saying if they're going to lose to teams like Northwestern,
yep,
with a 10-point lead, there's no other games on the schedule they're guaranteed to win or feel comfortable with.
Yeah, I got an odd feeling that they finally get a victory this weekend.
Well, let's see. They still got 6 games left, so maybe Kirk is right. Maybe they'll run the table and they'll get to a bowl game. We'll see, and then I'll be eating my words for saying that stuff about Scott Frost.
I don't think they'll run the table. They've still got some tough games left, do they not?
They got Purdue. They got Wisconsin left.
Yep.
So that'll be tough.
Yep.
That'll be tough for sure. But I don't want to dig too hard into Scott Frost because, again, I don't think that's all his fault. He has a lot to do. But, again, being at Nebraska and having a 10-point lead, it's expected you close that one out in Memorial Stadium where they have one hell of a fan base.
Okay, Atari, let's see your best pitch.
You're out, Rose.
I quit soccer to play Atari.
You need more practice, Haley.
You can't keep me in here, Atari.
The Atari video computer system is 20 cartridges with 1,300 game variations you play on your own TV set. Don't just watch television tonight. Play it.
Please visit smackingoff.com for all of your smacking off needs.
They're champion. They've won the biggest championship, and that's the championship of life.
Each week, Smacking Off presents our Life Championship Top 10. This week's Life 10 is brought to you by Bad Month Tires. You don't have the slack for Goodyear, so why not aim for the middle? Bad Month Tires, the most economical tire money can buy. Also brought to you by Doyle Hargrave Construction.
Stay out of my goddamn face, you fucking buzzard.
Also brought to you by Dapper Dan Pollade.
But I don't want fuck, goddammit. I'm a Dapper Dan man.
And now, this week's Life Championship Top 10. Number 10. Falling all the way from number 1 last week, the Oklahoma Sooners. Number 9. The Miami Hurricanes. Number 8. The Michigan Wolverines. Number 7. The Colorado Buffaloes. Number 6. The Wisconsin Badgers. Number 5. The Washington Huskies. Number 4. The West Virginia Mountaineers. Number 3. The Auburn Tigers. Number 2. The Penn State Nittany Lions. And number 1. Numero Uno. The top dog for week 7. The Georgia Bulldogs.
Team welcome Shannon, Russell and Amy back to Smacking Off the podcast.
LSU stock is way up.
Way up.
That's right. That's right. You want to buy? You want to buy that?
I'm not buying that.
I'm not buying that. That's still Ed O.
All right.
Ed O is not on my Christmas wish list.
Bama is losing to LSU this year.
Why?
Right now.
Why?
I said it
Look,
right here.
look. We don't give a damn about your NCAA football 2014 quest.
Yeah.
We're talking about real shit here.
We're talking about 2018.
First of all, you guys haven't played a real team, and you know that's the truth. Don't even give me no bullshit. You know you have not played a real team. You haven't had enough practice.
Ole Miss fans, that was directed towards you.
Hold up. We had more total yards on you last year with no offense.
Last year.
Has improved greatly.
Last year.
So you're just deducing it from that?
I remember last year, yeah. How'd that game work out, by the way?
Only by 10 or so.
How'd that game work out?
If we would have had a good quarterback,
it was 24 to 10.
If only.
We would have beat Bama in your
If only. If wishes and butts were candies and nuts, oh, what fat men would be.
Hey, I told y'all last week there's something to be said about playing in Death Valley. So I'm throwing that out there.
Now look, I'm going to go ahead and be a realist here. I don't believe, and I just said this a moment ago in our last segment, I don't believe that Alabama is going to walk in and have an easy walk in the park like they've had all season long.
Year. You had to earn that win.
I will also say that right now, currently, as we speak, LSU is 60th in passing yards allowed, and Tua is not 60th in shit.
I'm not sure what we are in passing yards. Where are we at in the poll?
So
everybody knows LSU is
we're number 5, right?
No, passing yards allowed, meaning that the other team is throwing the ball at such a rate that LSU is their defense is ranked 60th in the nation. And
they've also given up 16 sacks this year.
Ouch.
So what? We're 6-1. So what?
16 sacks.
Yeah.
Well,
that's going to be a problem against Mississippi State, by the way, who has actually recorded 17 sacks this year.
Somebody better.
Look, I'd like to meet you down there and watch the game together. That's what I'd like to do.
That'd be fun. I'd enjoy that. Of course, I don't drink anymore, so New Orleans is not near as, or Baton Rouge is not near as.
I'll drink for us.
Okay.
I've been waiting for this podcast because I've been off of it for what, 2 or 3 weeks now.
You have.
Y'all explain to me, how do you know Bama is so good when you haven't played a good team? You cannot be playing teams that are ranked 119.
Well, hold on now. Just last week.
Hey, we're going to play Tennessee this weekend, and they're an awesome team.
Yeah,
they just beat the shit out of Auburn.
You know what would be so funny to get both teams from Alabama's ass? Oh my God, I would not care if we.
I'd love it
if Tennessee just so happened to beat Alabama.
But hey, if that happens, and look, I mean, okay, it's crazy upside down, topsy turvy world. Why not? Tennessee beats Alabama at home. The Vegas strongly believes that that's not going to happen. Vegas has the line on that game at 29 points, and you can imagine who Vegas is favoring in that matchup.
Like y'all did on University of Monroe and all these other people. Y'all really gonna brag on that win?
Look, all I know is they ain't putting no 50 on us like they have.
They're not putting up 50 points.
I don't know. Nobody's saying that at all. We can beat LSU with 1 point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and LSU
True story.
with 1 point. That can be said both ways.
Or one field goal. I mean, we'll just,
let me ask y'all something. Have y'all realized? Let's put all the bullshit aside a minute.
Okay. That passing stat I threw out a minute ago, that's a bullshit stat.
Better, his quarterback's better. Y'all tell me. It's raining outside, sorry. Y'all tell me. Do y'all even know how close every LSU Bama game has been the last 10, 15 years?
Sure. And that was with a mediocre quarterback, I might add. a quarterback that really couldn't pass that well.
I think Tua is going to be a serious problem for LSU.
I know it. The stat that I just put out there, that right there is that you don't need much more than that.
Right.
LSU's going to have a tough time defending against a quarterback that can just about damn near fly and has laser eyes.
But Bama's an offensive team this year, not a defense. I mean, that's
Alabama's defense is down. Hey, you're absolutely correct about that.
So, and Saban says defense wins games. So you're going to argue with your coach that you think is Jesus?
Yeah. I mean, you know.
He says defense wins games. And he also says field goals win games. And guess what? Y'all suck at both this year.
Yeah. Right. Perhaps.
I don't. So you'll argue with your coach that you say is Jesus?
I mean, you know, when you're running up 60 and 60 points or so per game, then I mean, you know, I guess you can afford to have some wiggle room on defense. Arkansas torched us for 31 points, of course.
Well, hey guys, can we not think about Bama for a minute, because it's not even your next game.
We're definitely looking past. You're looking straight past Mississippi State,
and you're talking to somebody. As far as I don't connect myself to, like, if Alabama loses to LSU, I'll still get up the next day. I'll still talk to you.
Yeah, we're still going to do the podcast will go on. I'll get on this podcast and say I was absolutely wrong. LSU's defense was enough to contain Tua,
right.
And I can almost just about damn near assure you that conversation is not going to take place.
Okay, all right, yeah, all right. I'll tell you like this: I did not have the confidence to beat Bama last year, but I do this year, right. And I will tell you, because I was actually surprised they did better than what they did last year. So I believe that our defense was extremely underrated, and I'm going to say this, and then we'll move on to Mississippi State. Our defense is extremely underrated. You know it. And we also changed up our defense in the Georgia game, which I was impressed that Coach O did that. They're doing a lot of things that we haven't done before. We're now, you know, we have a lot of analysts watching tape, from what I understand, and preparing our team to play against teams like Georgia and Bama. Mm-hmm. We're making those adjustments. So we're going to be tough to beat. You know, I mean, I have to give Coach O some credit, because I was the biggest skeptic last year. Now, I did say with all the changes that I was seeing, and, you know, Burris, I mean, I had faith that he was at least better than what we've had. I'm not saying he was going to be, you know, some 5-star quarterback was going to come in and blow everybody away, but I just had just a little bit of tape that I watched on YouTube and things like that. I just had a good feeling that we had something better, because, I mean, you know, Edling was not great, but our O-line did not help. That was the thing. Everybody wants to blame everything on the quarterback, but if your team doesn't block your quarterback, or you don't have, you know, good plays, or you can't execute, right, or you're you know, there's only so much he can do by himself. It's a team effort, and we obviously were very, very weak on offense, but we are definitely better on offense, and nobody can deny that. So, but our defense is so superb, you know, that I really think that y'all are going to see a huge difference in Tua. We made, you know, Miami play bad.
Miami has played bad for most of the year.
Yeah.
We won't really beat Auburn by 1 point, but because we had to beat the refs and Auburn.
Yeah, and Auburn's terrible, though. You have to admit that Auburn is not panned out to be the team that everybody thought they were.
Yeah, in fact, that's pretty much. I couldn't go anywhere today without somebody talking about the complete collapse that's going on down at Auburn right now. Not to take anything away from LSU's win, but you know that win looks a little bit more suspect. However, the win last weekend was very decisive and very convincing.
Yeah, that win was epic.
That kind of also highlighted the fact that this is not the Georgia team of last year. This is, you know,
I already knew that. I tried to tell them.
There has been some drop off at Georgia.
Georgia's got problems.
Well, they lost. Look how many players they lost. They lost. A lot of these were Mark Wright's, you know, recruits, and they do have the number 1 recruiting class from last year. They just have not develop those players another year. Georgia's going to be a contender again.
Oh man, yeah. In the next couple of years, Georgia's going to.
It's just a down year for them because of the way they lost their players. That's what happened to LSU last year too. We lost more players to NFL, you know, other than Bama, and we had, you know, Coach O, and you know, there were some other issues there too. And every team loses players, but Georgia, Alabama, and LSU, all three lost a lot of players.
Yeah.
But what separates Alabama from the rest, I'll admit, is that Saban can overcome those adversities. And y'all are so stacked that when you lose players, your second and third string usually does pretty well, except I'll say in the Mississippi State game against Bama last year, your linemen last year, your second string and third string, they weren't as good as the ones that played in the LSU game. Just saying. But I will say this, and I'll let Amy talk. Mississippi State is very, very physical, and I know that seems like a cliche, or people that really understand.
No, they are.
Just. I don't know if they do like some Rocky style of training down there or what, but they don't have to be star players. But for some reason, they're just very aggressive and tough. They're very physical. They're very, that team the last few years anyway. It's like a dogfight. So with that being said, I think that it's not going to be an easy win. For Mississippi State and LSU, we do want revenge. Last year
you got a score prediction for us?
Huh?
You got a score prediction for us on this one?
Okay, on Mississippi State, LSU playing at home, I'm gonna say, I would say Mississippi State's defense is better than Georgia, so I'm gonna say 24-10. Now they do have Fitzgerald. I mean, I know he's good. He's
not that great. He's really not. He's been so underwhelming this year.
Amy, do you have a new set of expectations for your Tigers now?
Amy Welch, how you doing, girl?
What's up?
Living the dream. You have been very active.
Running shit. She was doing. She's doing fine. So I was just letting her run it. I just come on here to talk shit to all the Georgia players, Georgia fans.
Well, hey, send them a message.
Yeah,
we've got
there's a few.
I'm just making sure this is like legit. It's PSA. They on suicide watch.
All right,
so
Cam Purdue. She's talking to you.
Cam Purdue. That's straight at you, brother.
And James Smith.
Yeah.
Hey,
talking to
listen,
you.
Curtis
I love
Dyers.
me some Cam, okay? But I ain't gonna lie. I sent him a message the other day, and he responded to me. He said, "Don't mess with me right now. I take losses hard." And I was like, "Dude, are you okay? I was just calling just to shoot the shit with you." And he's like, "No, I can't talk right now." So he was legit mad. And I don't even know when I will get to speak to him again.
You think he was watching? He was watching some YouTube, and they were calling for Kirby Smart's head.
Maybe
for a minute there.
Look, let me tell you something though. Gumps ain't got no room to talk about nobody being salty because y'all salty too when y'all lose. Y'all salty.
Shit. I'm salty. I ain't even gonna lie. I'm salty as hell when the LSU loses.
Well,
that'll happen in a couple weeks, by the way.
I just need a minute. I need a minute or two to absorb it, and then I'm over it.
Well, I sent out a couple of messages to some people, and then I was drunk, so then it started becoming a little bit.
No, you're not a drinking person, are you?
What?
What?
What are you talking about?
Are
alcohol?
you drink?
No,
Yeah, you drink the alcohol.
I don't even know what alcohol is. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We're all about family values here on.
Yeah, because it's the
Smacking
best.
The podcast. That's on our intro, isn't it?
Sure.
No, I'll be damned.
Amy, you got a score prediction for this weekend?
How's this going to go down this weekend?
They're gonna get their asses kicked.
How bad is it going to be?
I'm confident.
Yeah.
I don't think. I mean,
what's the score going to be?
Mississippi State and Bama are going down. Bottom line.
Why are we talking about Bama? That's next
I hate
week.
doing scores, guys. You know this shit. I'm still number one.
I'll pick it for you
too, by the way. But I hate picking frickin' scores.
I'll pick it for you. Mississippi State 17, LSU 14.
Yeah, I like that one. That's good.
Shut your face.
Yeah, I know.
Amy, you heard it here first. Amy Welch is predicting a Bulldog win.
Shut the fuck up. I did not even say that shit.
Yes, you did. We've
let's
got
try
it
this
recorded.
again, Amy.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Action.
Even if we lose to Mississippi State, that doesn't mean we're going to lose to Bama. I don't even care about the Mississippi State game other than we have to win the
Wow.
I get that. But
man, I can't wait to freaking meet her this weekend when we go to this game.
So y'all
got my life.
Oh, whoa! You guys are going to the game
more
together.
Shit about oh my God, she's the only person I've ever met that's talked more shit than me being a Tiger fan.
Did we bring y'all together?
Great. I can't wait to meet you this weekend.
Did y'all already know each other, or did we bring y'all together?
Well, y'all didn't bring us together.
Y'all already knew each other.
Facebook brought us together.
Mark Zuckerberg.
So,
I want to say that we brought y'all together. That makes me
you
happy
can say
in
whatever
my heart.
you want. Don't make it true, though.
Yeah, well, but it still makes me happy in my heart. Why are you trying to deny me my happiness right now?
God damn it!
Well, yeah, that's everybody. No, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. But yeah, so
don't keep it shut. Tell them.
Shit,
Hey,
that's a whole nother
fucking tell 'em.
segment
Hey,
right there.
Guys, this was your gloat segment, and we've got to go. And we.
Oh, that guy.
Have fun. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Yeah, roll
All right,
Tide.
guys. Appreciate it.
Find Smacking Off the podcast on YouTube, at Podcast Garden, Google Play Music, and iTunes. Make sure to check out the 9 p.m. Eastern, Tuesday and Friday Facebook Live episodes at #FamilySmack.
Please subscribe to our channel by clicking the small Smacking Off icon at the top of the screen now. Click the link at the bottom of the screen to watch last week's episode.